Christmas seems to put a megaphone to life's circumstances. When things are good, Christmas seems to amplify it, make it great. But when things are bad, when life's not going real good, Christmas can put a megaphone to the pain and amplify that. Christmas is really great news for some, but it's really a source of anxiety for others. Like waves that continually crash on the shore and the rocks of a coastline, the challenges that we face refuse to take a break. We feel this in 2020 with the pandemic. It seems like every time we turn around, there's something new that crashes on the shore of our lives. And for these problems, these struggles, these challenges, they don't tend to take a sabbatical. The problems of daily life can create a fog of uncertainty and chaos in our lives. And the second character that we look at is the character of Joseph, and he had a bucket load of problems, and the fog was thick. Listen to the story of Joseph, Matthew chapter 1, beginning verse 18. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was as follows. After his mother Mary was betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Spirit. Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not wanting to make her a public example, was minded to put her away secretly. But while he thought about these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, son of David, don't be afraid to take to you Mary, your wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Spirit. And she'll bring forth a son, and you will call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sin. The season of fog can wrap its icy tentacles around us at any time. The things that once were so clear to us, especially in this season, have been shrouded by circumstances that we can't change, restrictions that we've never faced, and relationships that are strained by conflict. How do we navigate through the fog of these days? Christmas is a story that teaches us, and Joseph is a character that leads us. You see, Joseph walked the path of truth and love. Traveling through the maze of emotions, Joseph wanted to please God most of all. Because he was just, he wanted to do what God commanded. He wanted to follow the truth of God. Because he was compassionate and loving, he didn't want to create more pain for Mary. I want us to get hold of this because it's so true for us, especially in this Christmas season. The pathway through the fog of uncertainty, the pathway through the fog of pain and chaos, the pathway through the fog is the trail of God's truth and love. To move through the fog in a world that's gone crooked, we need to walk the path of God's truth. God's truth gives us a stable ground upon which we can stand, an absolute measure on how to live our lives. God's love gives us the warmth of soul that protects our hearts from bitterness when things don't go our way. Have you ever tried to track down a sound in your home that you just couldn't quite figure out where it was coming from? Maybe it's a cricket and you just tear up the whole house trying to find a cricket that won't stop chirping. Maybe it's a smoke detector, and so you take your broom and you tear down every smoke detector until you find the one that's chirping. The trouble with Joseph was he had thoughts that were buzzing and chirping in his own brain, and he couldn't make them quiet down. Even though he was walking the path of truth and love, the anxieties and the stresses of the fog were still there. But that leads us to a second point that really is important for us. In the midst of our uncertainty, God gives us clarity. Like Joseph, we can be captured by anxious thoughts of what to do next. When we walk the path of God's truth and love, we tune our hearts and our ears to hear from God. And God speaks. He sends an angel to Joseph and says, Joseph, don't be afraid to take Mary to be your wife. Why? Because this was God's plan. Surrounded by a wintry landscape of shadows, God sends Jesus, the deliverer. He sends Jesus on a mission to invade the darkness with his light, to bring the glorious grace of God to set us free and to lead our way. Before Christ came, humanity knew only the pain of shattered dreams, the drama of hopeless, loveless, lifeless existence, festering wounds of a wounded heart, and captivity to the shame of our failures. But everything changed. Everything changed when Jesus was born. We now can have a song of celebration because Jesus Christ, who is our deliverer, Jesus Christ, who is God with us, He has come, and He's come to set our world right side up. When we follow Him, He'll lead us safely, securely through the fog.